And it does, as we take a look at the standings after 2 rotations. Hamm a little further ahead of Blaine Wilson. Morgan remains in 3rd, Bhavsar in 4th, and Jason Gatson remains in 6th as he continues a long comeback. It has been a long, long road for Jason Gatson. More on that when we continue from the U.S. Gymnastics Championships in a moment. Imagine the feeling. The feeling that your dreams are right at your fingertips. Then imagine having them pass by you like a stranger. All in one moment. Jason Gatson's destiny was once so clear. Make the 2000 Olympic team. But one dismount littered his path with doubt. Could he rehabilitate in time? Could he get back to where he was? Could he get past the fear? There was only 10 months till the next national championships. Gatson would need to prove himself there if he'd ever have a shot for Sydney. But coming back from an injury is an inexact science. And while Jason's heart said he could do it, his body wasn't so sure. The Olympic dream would have to wait.
Seems like a real long time ago. It's 3 years ago, you know, and a lot's changed since then. I think number one thing is my mentality, you know. Going through all these injuries and stuff really opens your eyes, you know. It makes you, you know, realize how hard this sport is and, you know, what battles you have to go through, you know, to be at the top level.
His next opportunity to get back on the national team would come at the 2001 National Championships. He was now 2 years removed from the surgery. This was his chance to show he was back. His desire was obvious, but his knee was still uncertain. What can possibly help prepare you for this? 2 blown-out knees in 2 years. It was over. No one could come back from that. Or can they? Jason Gatson wasn't ready to stop. There was still some unfinished business to take care of. Now, 4 years after his first knee operation, he has returned to see if he has what it takes.
I wanted to prove that I can still do this, you know, and I'm still competitive with these guys at this level. I didn't want to give up.
Injuries have always been a part of this sport, but what Jason Gatson is going through and is attempting to do is quite extraordinary. Tim, you have experienced a horrific injury. What are the mental things that go through your mind dealing with something like that?
Well, it was almost like Jason stole some of my thoughts and my words there. It's just, as an athlete, it's so important that you're true to yourself, and giving up just was never an option for me, and it doesn't appear to be an option for Jason Gatson. Sometimes you just have to try.
And I think there's a part of this crowd and many of the people that have been with Jason throughout his career that are really rooting for this kid to make it.
And Tim, I don't know if it's just me, but I cannot believe the athlete that we're seeing today. He is so improved, not only on the other apparatus, but especially here.
And this is going to help a lot. Going to get a big number. His mom said, Jason, I just know it, you're not done, and I think she's right.
Look at that look of determination on Gatson's face.
Yeah, awesome. Awesome comeback, you know. That was important too. Now rings, if we can clean up that thing.
His coach already gearing him up for the next event a little bit later on, which will be the rings for Gatson. And here is Blaine Wilson getting ready for the parallel bars.
And this is a big rotation for Blaine, not just because he can post a huge number on the parallel bars, but also because his main competition here, Paul Hamm, is on still rings where he will struggle.
Again, Wilson enters this third rotation in second place.
Very difficult combination. He'll spin on one arm here and go right into a double flip. A lot going on all in a row, which makes it much more difficult. Dismount, double pike.
Fighting for those landings.
Has a great routine.
You talk so much about Gatson's comeback. This man wants to not only return as national champion, but get back to the Olympics. So competitive. Blaine Wilson. I mean, you instantly know if he's happy with his routine or not. Gatson's pommel horse routine at 9.45 as he looks to move up from the 6th spot. And Wilson's P-bar routine at 9.6, so maybe he can inch a little closer to the leader, Paul Hamm. And we'll see Mr. Hamm on the rings when we continue as he continues to try and defend his U.S. Gymnastics Championship. We're back at the U.S. Gymnastics Championships in the third rotation, and Bhavsar getting ready for the P-bars. Raj in 4th place as he gets ready to go.
And Dan, there's a lot of things going on here. Obviously, it's the national championships. Everybody wants to win that. But 2 spots, the top 2 all-arounders, also automatically qualify to the World Championships later on this summer. And the remaining athletes, 4 more, will comprise that U.S. team. And how they are chosen is by their individual event strengths. Do they make a stronger USA team? Raj is not going to be one of those athletes that's going to place in the top 2 and earn an automatic berth. But he needs strong events in weak places for the USA, and he's got some of them. We saw him earlier on the vault, and that is definitely an event where he can contribute and contribute big to this USA team.
Brett McClure is next, 22-year-old from Colorado Springs, teammate there with Jason Gatson.
And this is also an event where Brett McClure can really contribute to this USA team.
McClure, a member of the last 2 World Championship teams for the United States, so he's been on the scene for quite some time now.
Actually got a little bit tight in day 1. Had some problems. But pommel horses, very strong event for Brett. And the USA a little bit weaker on that event.
Yeah, this is definitely an event where Brett can pull up a big score for this team. You know, he wants a top 6 finish in the all-around competition. Said it's going to be a real fight at this event. There are so many good guys out there.
Next on Pommel, the University of Minnesota,
McClure in the 5th spot, just ahead of Gatson after the 2 rotations, as Bhavsar has his score of 9.2 on the P-bars. What do you think about that?
Well, it's a good score, actually, for him. And really, P-bars is not one of the events that he is hoping to be a contributor on.
McClure with a good score as you look at Paul Hamm getting ready now for the rings, the leader of these championships. And it would be a pretty big upset, even at this stage, Tim and Elfie, if this man didn't turn out on top again and defend his title.
Well, this is the one place Paul is going to struggle today. He had a sprained AC joint in his shoulder that really hurt him a lot. And what it did was made it impossible for him to work on those critical strength elements. And because of that, his start value is very low. Blaine Wilson told me I can get a point on rings alone on Paul today.
You got to gain any edge you can on this guy. He and his coach said coming in that they were going to hold back a little bit because of this continuing comeback from the shoulder injury, and that was pretty good. It happened on the rings. He injured it in a training routine on the rings, so a little scary event out of the way for Paul Hamm.
Biggest mistake in that exercise was the small little hop on the landing. That costs him at least 2/10 of the point because he loses that extra bonus. And with the low start value, without all those strength parts, that is going to cost him. Full twisting, double layout somersault, just pulls his feet underneath him just a little bit too much, and it doesn't matter how small that hop is. If you hopped, no bonus.
And it's the lowest score so far by Paul Hamm at 8.9, but Paul